here. A TinCup bottle. I've mocked it up. As you can see, I've got a lot longer tube in here than I need. Obviously, I'm just doing that so I can get a good idea of how much length I'm going to need. Put this on here. I've marked it back about, say, about half an inch longer than the wood base to give me enough space for a washer and 2 nuts. So I'm going to be working on that. I got to cut the rod down and then I'll start assembling. I did invest in some Loctite, the red, or the blue, not the red, because you want to be able to take these apart if you ever had to take it apart in the future, or if you make a mistake while you're assembling, because we're all not perfect, at least I'm not. So I would have to do that again. I want to be able to break that seal and get this thing off, but I also want it to be Loctite once I put it together. I did the first one, and once I put the felt over here, you really can't get at that nut without destroying the felt, and I don't want to do that. So, alright, again, TinCup bottle. I'm going with silver. I did put an extension on here to see if you guys can, there we go. Put the extension on because I wanted to lift it up. With the TinCup, you've got the nice TinCup here. I want to make sure that when the shade's on it, you can still see it, because it is a nice look. I do have the original sticker that comes on it when it's sealed. I'll put that back on, and I also have the tag that hangs over, so I'll add that back as well. So this is the beginning of the TinCup assembly. Alright, so I figured I'd go through a parts list. So I've got my base I made, which I've shown you in the past, the hole in the bottom for the nuts and washers, the hole in the back for the cord. It's been stained to colonial maple and shellacked, so that's all set to go. TinCup bottle, hole in the bottom, the cap, and the TinCup top. I also did, like I mentioned, I saved the little sticker, you guys can see that, and the little booklet that hangs with it, so I've got that. As far as I'm using a pull chain, going with the silver or chrome, there's all the parts there. I've included a little adapter to space it up a little higher so that when the shade is on it, it doesn't block out all the bottle stuff. I found on TinCup's website a can opener that says TinCup. It's a little pickaxe. I'm going to use that on the keychain. Thought that would be a cool idea. I got the chrome pipe for inside the bottle to hide the threaded rod. A piece of threaded rod. So you can see all these little parts. So you've got 2 nuts and a split washer. I've got the big washer to go underneath the board to lock it down. I've got a bushing. I think you can see that in my hand. That's to go inside the pipe to protect the wires. Got another one I may try for the outside of the pipe. I'm not sure yet. I believe this is a 6-foot cord, pre-made. I buy them online. They're already tinned on the end, so it's really easy to work with. I'm going to put a vintage style 60-watt bulb in it. I picked up, we had some Dunkin' Donuts decaf coffee ground. I'm going to try that this time in the bottle to make it look like the alcohol that's in there. And then I've got a lampshade. And if you can see that, crooked, sorry guys. There's the lampshade. I got this, I think, at Walmart for 16 bucks or something. It's one that just goes over the top of the shade. As you can see, there you go. You can see from there. I think that is all I've got. Again, I also have some Loctite, and I've got some caulking because I'm thinking I might put it all together and then just caulk around the bottom where the pipe goes through, just to keep the coffee grounds in. I'm a little worried coffee beans stay in there, no problem. With the coffee grounds, it might come out through the bottom, so I'm going to try that. So that's all the parts, I believe, to assemble. So I will work on adding a parts list and maybe some pricing for what I paid, but you can always find stuff cheaper or more expensive depending where you go. I find that if you go to local Home Depot or Lowe's, you pay a little extra. The cords are $6-8 at those places in the packages. I found a place online that's up in Connecticut, and I can get these for $2 roughly each. So I bought a bunch for the same price I would buy one at Home Depot, Lowe's. Same thing with threaded rod and things like that. You can find online vendors that sell that stuff and ships within a couple of days. So, alright, I think that's all the parts and pieces. So I'm gonna rearrange my bench, clean it up a little bit, and then I'll start putting stuff together and I'll record from there. Alright, so I'm going to start assembling again. Got my threaded rod. I'm going to put my washer on. I'm going to put one nut on just for starters because I just want to get this lined up. I'm trying to get it so I can get the coffee in there. So the other lock washer and nut will go on later. I slide that up through my base. Set that down. Take my TinCup bottle, slide that over. Be careful. And a reminder, if you're doing this, remember that the base, you shellacked it, you polished it, looks pretty. If you keep turning your bottle around, you're liable to scratch it, so you want to be careful. So I tend to take a little extra caution. It doesn't have to be perfectly lined up for what I'm trying to do now. Here's my finished chrome piece. Go down through there. I'm going to slide on the cap. Cork is going on next. And I want to get that where it's going to be in the final location. Slide my TinCup, screw that down. And then I've got my nipple. It's 2-inch. As you can see, my thread rod doesn't come through, which is what I kind of expected. So I'm going to push that through. And it's going to be difficult. Alright, so what's happening is the cork is getting hung up on the cork. So I'm going to screw my cap. There you go. From there I can pull it through. When I put the cap on, it kind of locks it all up. So again, be careful about spinning your bottle. Doesn't have to be perfect for this is a dry fit. So now put my cup back on. Put my ferrule 2-inch nipple there. Now I should be able to screw my light cap, bottom of the light assembly, my fixture assembly on there. Don't forget that little set screw. You got to make sure you loosen that. So that is pretty much where I want this to be. It's nice and tight. That's going to work for me. So, like I said, the thing is I wanted to figure out where the depth was on there so that I can caulk around the base of this nut threaded rod, because I want to put the coffee grounds in. And I don't want them leaking out underneath the bottle. I know you probably never see them, but I'm afraid that they'll be coming out the bottom of the bottle, maybe going down through the hole since they're so fine. So a little extra precaution I'm going to take. Alright. Alright, so put a little caulking around the base of the threaded rod so that I can keep the coffee grounds in, hopefully. So now I can unscrew this. Take that off. Take this cap off. And now, see how good luck I have getting this on. This part's tight. Doesn't want to come off. Note to self, make hole bigger next time. Okay. Alright. So now my next fun project is to get the coffee grounds inside the bottle. And I'm going to need to create some kind of a funnel or something to keep it in there, because otherwise I'm going to make one heck of a mess. Alright, we're going to try this high-tech method. I got a piece of paper for a funnel and coffee grounds. Take one. And so far so good. Well, we have a jam. Wasn't too bad. Let's try it again. We're jamming up for some reason. people, I can tell you this is going to be a slow process. Let's see if I can figure this out. Just got to get this funnel just right. That looks good. Let's try that. I can maintain the pour rate. Sure smells good. And hopefully that caulking I put in the bottom is going to keep it from coming out the bottom. Much better. It's going to take a lot of coffee, I think. So it's looking like this might be a 2.5 bag fill. We shall see. Again, this is kind of experimenting to figure out what I like best. When it comes to filling these bottles, I like the coffee beans and the Woodford I did. Let's see. I wanted to try something different, so. Alright, so let's see, how's it looking there? It's almost half. Still got a little more left in this bag. Alright guys, I'm gonna cut back after I finish this bag out. I'll do the second bag and then I'll come back on. Alright, we're about a little over half. Do keep going. It's just tedious, but it's going. So I'm in my second bag. Oh crap. Well, there you go. Just out of jam. Well, I got some of it in the jar. Let's try that again. And as you can see, this is not fun. It just gotta be patient. I think I'm gonna fill it right above. Let's try going like above the symbols, the letters on the bottle. We'll see how it looks. So I'll be back. Alright, we're getting there. I'm gonna put the whole bag in, so it's probably gonna be a little higher than I was thinking originally, but it's looking good, so let's do that. The bag's almost empty, so I'm just gonna use it all. Side effect is it smells really good. Alright, let's get this last bit out. Almost there. Yeah, it's gonna end up filling the bottle. That's gonna be okay. Two bags of coffee grounds is gonna do it. So that's going to fill it right up to the top. It's going to settle over time, but I think I'm good with that. The cork's going to go in. So I need to clean up the mess I just made, but not bad. We're making progress. Alright, we're going to start putting this thing together. So, like I said, I want to make sure I'm lined up with the front. I cleaned up most of the coffee mess I made. So, first thing in, cork. I want to make sure I pull up on it this time. And it's going to be tight. There we go. Okay. Next, I'm going to put on the TinCup. I'm going to double check my alignment, make sure I'm good. Alright, now here is where, as I mentioned, I saved the original sticker. So, let's see if we can mess with this camera here. Alright, so that's the original sticker. I'm going to put that on, stick it on this side. Kind of similar to where it was when I got the bottle. So you can see it but it doesn't block the TinCup. Then I've got the little booklet. I'll put that on there as well. Again, I want to put these on now because once I put everything together it's going to be difficult. So then I have my 2-inch little nipple, and then I have my lamp base. I took the set screw out of it so I can actually get it down there without a problem. I'm going to get this as tight as I can with my fingers. But I want it to bottom out. That's what I'm trying to get to. And this is where what I do. I'll carefully lay this on the side. I've got my needle nose pliers, which allows me to grab onto the threaded rod so I can make sure I'm nice and tight. Okay, there we go. Now, with this, one little thing you don't have to worry about as much. There's a set screw I've taken out and hit it to the side. I'm going to put that back in, and I want to put it so it's on the back of the bottle so you're not going to see it when this thing is set up and on the table. Now, I'm not putting any Loctite on the top piece since it has the set screw. Okay, there we go. Alright, so that's that. And I can check my squareness. And what I can do, take this lamp, I'll lay it down. I've got something to put under it, which will help. But on a level surface, it's going to line both the bottle and that up. And then I'm going to tighten up my nut. But first, I'm going to do is get some Loctite. Probably should open this ahead of time, but oh well. Take the nut off. I was hoping not to, but I'm going to have to. Put a little Loctite on the threads. Sorry, put my head into my guys. Loctite on those threads. After I cut the end of the Loctite off. Okay, that worked. What I can do is put my head in your way. Loctite on. There we go. And I just get it over everything. That's typical. Alright, so now I'm going to put this thread back on. It should be fun because I got big fingers. Oh my gosh, went on first try. I'm impressed. Okay. So now I want to hang on to the other end. I'm going to tighten this. You guys see that? Yeah, you can see that. I'm going to use a wrench in a second here. just want to get started, so let me go grab a wrench. I'll be right back. Alright guys, the nuts I'm using are, what are they? 14 millimeter. My socket wrench is a little overkill, so I'm just being careful. I just want to tighten this sucker up without breaking anything. That's good. Let's take a look and see how the bottle's lined up. That's nice and tight. I think that's pretty good. Alright, so like I said, I'm gonna put some more Loctite on. I put a little bit too much on that time. Alright. I got a little carried away. Sorry about that. As I said, I'm a work in progress some days. Alright, so put the locking washer on. I'm going to put the second nut on, and this is going to, again, I've tightened it up, but this second nut is going to go against the first nut and just lock them together and then make it permanent. And then we don't have to worry about this lamp loosening up down the road on us. Just getting the nut started. It's a trap. And fat fingers. There we go. Alright, so that's 14. That's 13, okay. And in case you're wondering, having the right tool for the job is a nice thing. I am definitely going to invest in the wrench, actually a nut driver that will fit this. That'll make this a whole lot easier. So I want to snug this nut. Like I said, I got the locking washer in there. I'm going to snug this against the first one. Alright, and then, before I forget, get the little bushing. I'm going to stick that in there now. And I don't think this is going to... Nah, I don't need that. I'm not going to use... I have these other bushings, but for this one I don't need it. I'm going to use the internal bushing. That's going to protect the cord when it comes out of the hole, goes around and comes out the back. So I think I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Alright. Alright. So next step, I have a power cord. I'm going to feed this through the hole. Having a pair of needle-nose pliers is the best thing in the world. Grab that, come through. So I'm going to need enough cord. I'm going to get up to the top and be able to come out and work on it. So I find just twist these together lightly. You can feed it through. So you go pretty smooth until you hit the... Oh, I got lucky. As you can see, it just popped out the other end. I always try to do this cord so that when I pull it back, it's got no twists in it. So I twist it a little bit here, but then I feed it back so the cord goes straight through, so I'm not getting any twist in the bottom here. I'm going to have to pull it back even more. I just want to do it enough so I can stand this up. Alright. And if you remember other videos, but these cords have two blades. So one is skinnier than the other one, one's bigger. That's your neutral. And typically on the cords, I know sometimes it's hard to see, this neutral side has ridges on it. The other hot side has no ridges, it's smooth. So when you go up to this end, let me move this camera up. Wait 1 second. Alright, there you go. So on this end, you've got this side is smooth, this side is ridges, so this is going to be your neutral. Alright, now the neutral is going to be the silver color, and the brass is the hot. If you were to follow this up, the way it works is the hot piece is a little tab in the center. Let's see if we can. There you go. So a little tab in the center, that's the hot piece, and the shell is neutral. That way, if you were ever unscrewing or screwing a light bulb in, you manage to touch this silver piece, you won't get a shock if it's wired correctly, because that's the neutral. If you touch the center piece and somehow you're grounded, there we go. So if you're able to, if you touch this part, you shouldn't have any problem. You should never get a shock. If you touch the silver or the bronze part, brass part, that would give you a shock, because if you were grounded touching something metal, you're going to get a shock from the thing. So that's why you want to make sure you wire these correctly. So again, silver, neutral, it's the fat tip on the plug, and it's the ridges on the cord. Take a screwdriver, loosen this up, ridges. You want to wrap the wire around the screw. The needle nose are very helpful for that, and you want to go clockwise. What you're doing is you're making a U, and that's a good, see if you can see that or not. Bring it closer. So that's a U on there. And you want it just looking like that, so when you tighten it, the screw is going to tighten and pull the wire tight, so it's not, if you're going the other way and you're tightening the screw, it's actually going to unwrap it and try to loosen the wire. So you want to go with it, so clockwise. You just want to tighten that down. Again, making sure your connections are tight. These fixtures have little hooks under them, so you can actually hook the wire when you're doing this. Just kind of gets it out of the way. And then we do the same thing on the other side. You probably won't want to hook it till after you do the other side. So just soft, because it makes it too tight. So you loosen it up. Take your wire. You don't want plastic, you want just wire under there. So there should be enough on these loops when they come from the factory. It should be just right, lengthwise. Use your needle nose. And you get a nice connection there to you. Just tighten it up. It's going to tighten the wire. Give me a nice tight electrical connection. And then, like I said, take these wires and put them underneath these little tabs here. That way, when you put your lamp together, they're on the way. Alright, so there we go. So now, what I'm going to need to do the cardboard insulator that also protects it from any kind of shocks. Put that on there, line up the notch, just push that down, and that covers any of the screws, so that, again, protecting it so you're not going to get any kind of shocks coming from the thing. And I'm going to pull this down tight. So I want this here. Just feed, like I said, feed it through. So it goes just like that. There's no twist in the wire. Set this up. And my keychain is going to be on this side, which is fine with me. So you got your top base. It's got the slot. Just going to line that up. It's going to be a snug fit, which is good. You should hear a little snap. Here we go. Now the cardboard sticks up enough so that you're not really going to hit the silver socket, so it's another protection. Cardboard's insulating it from the outside metal, so you should never get a shock. So electrical safety first. And there you go. You now have that. So before we go any farther, we're going to try what we tried last time, and hopefully we'll be successful first attempt. Last time I tried it, the bulb didn't light up for some silly reason. I don't really understand why, but so I'm going to open up my bulb. And you guys can use whatever bulbs you want. You can use different sockets. I've got the pull chains. I like the pull chains because I want to put the decorations on them. You can use, there's three-way sockets. You can make a three-way lamp. There's push buttons. There's turn knobs. Whatever one you want, you can easily change it out in the future. Also, I bought these Edison type, the old bulbs, vintage bulbs. I like the look of them. So I'm just going to screw that in. I think last time it wasn't all the way in, so it wasn't hitting the brass piece in the center. The other thing too is when you're putting them together, if you're pushing on that, you could push the brass piece in the center down so that it doesn't make contact with the bulb. And we have light. Let's try it. Light on off? On off. Okay. And so I found, like I just mentioned to you guys, on the TinCup merchandise site, found this little pickaxe. And on it, it says TinCup. Hopefully you can actually see that. There you go. So I thought it was pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I don't really need the key ring part of this. I'm going to take my pliers, just unbend that. So now I got a nice little hook with a hole in it. Take this piece off, stick this through the hole. Looks like pretty good. And figure out, I want it to be, say, turn it around so you can see the TinCup. I would like it to hang right about there. So what I'm going to do, cut this chain and now a piece, put my little end cap back on. It should snap in. Now I have a nice little cool pull tab. Alright, take a next step. Alright, one piece I forgot to show you up front was the felt. I bought this double or a sticky side already glued felt. So what I'm going to do is take this, put the lamp on it, take my pencil. I know this is exciting. Just draw the outline of the wood base on it. High tech. Take my scissors. And this is the time where I'm going to cut inside the lines. I want it to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to cut inside those lines. Maybe a 1/16 of an inch. So I hold the camera where you can see it, I guess. There you go. A piece of felt for the bottom. The other pieces, I may save a couple of scraps for little things. The rest is garbage. Alright, so I've got to put the felt on the bottom. I'm going to fit my lampshade, and then pretty much this guy is done. Alright, I signed it. My name, FuzzySprocket Lamp, FuzzySprocket Lamps. And we're just gonna use this over it. Doesn't need to be perfect. There's the base. And tick. Got the lampshade. I have to unscrew the light bulb. And unscrew the light bulb. Shade has a seam. Always put the seam in the back. Stick that on. Put the bulb back in. Adjust my shade to where I want it. There you go. Okay. TinCup lamp. Alright guys, there you go. You can see that nice little hanging thing there. Original sign. I think my sticker is going to need some help. So we can get that. Sure about long-term health of that sticker, but we'll see. And there you go. One TinCup whiskey lamp. Done and in the books. Thank you for playing.